So in this video, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about the Moleskine Folio from their professional line of notebooks. The company has really always been known for their, I would say, hobbyist products, kind of journals and things like that. And they've had professional products, but finally they released a line specifically called the Pro or Professional series. And they're slightly higher end, slightly plainer editions of some notebooks that basically already exist, but also some new ones as well. You can see the colors. It's kind of more muted, more professional colors. More emphasis on plain type things, no journal entries. It has cool platinum colors here. It says professional here. And anyway, yeah, it's a pretty interesting line, and it's a change of pace for these guys. So I thought it was pretty cool. I picked this one up. This is the Folio. So it's about an A4, so it's the largest size they make, I think, in a soft cover. Sells for about $10, $12, something like that. Pretty easy to find on Amazon and other places. And this is right up my alley from a paper standpoint. I like larger notebooks like an A4. I like soft covers because I just find them to be easier to use and lighter, and they fit in a bag better for me. This is 80 pages. That's spot on for me. I don't like anything larger than that because I tend to go through these, and I don't want something sticking around for too long. If it holds too many notes, then if you lose it, you are losing a lot more than if it has 80 pages. So yeah, this is, I'm not sure if this is coming out, but this is the plain pad, the Folio they call it, which it's a soft cover, professional series. And these, they actually say the paper weight, which is not something the company normally does. So it's 80 grams per square meter, acid free. That means it's archival. And it is 8.5 by 11 in the US, which is a A4 paper size. In other places, it would be 21.59 by 27.94 cm. And it's, I said it was 80 pages. It's actually 94 detachable plain pages with 3 holes. So we'll get into that in a second. This thing comes off. I left it here just so everyone could see some of the details, how it ships. Get rid of that. So it's a plain matte cardboard or card stock, pretty flexy. I've been using this one not very much, and already it's been bent but through normal sort of wear and tear, just shoving it into a backpack or a book bag or something with too much stuff in it. It's not a particularly strong binding. The pages aren't coming out, but it's definitely showing some signs of wear there. So 3 holes, so you can remove this and use the interior of the notebook inside of a binder if you want to do that, or you could take out the pages and put the pages in a binder. Nothing in the forward, no extra pages for your name, no bullet journal friendly table of contents maker, nothing like that. No phone number placed. It's really plain and stripped down. Maybe that's one of the reasons this thing only cost $10. Has a lie flat design. So basically the binding here, it's a glued binding. I think it's a glued binding, yeah. And it says Moleskine there, which is really cool. It's nicely done. But this lies flat because this piece is not attached, which would cause this to sort of flop up. Instead, it's attached only in the back seam. So you lose some strength, but you get this design, which is really nice. That's without me bending it or anything like that. That's straight from the factory, just like that, which is very cool. When you go to the next sheet, it pops up a little bit, but if you apply a little bit of pressure, now it's basically flat, which is really nice to see. That's a big selling point. You could have a stitch binding, and it kind of pushes it up a little bit. The trade-off is with different bindings, you get a little bit more strength. Here, the paper isn't in as securely, but it lies nice and flat. The paper, like it says, it is detachable, so you can remove it even though it's not perforated. It's removing it at the seam, and you just give it a little bit of pressure and it comes off. That's really quite nice. I like that a lot. The problem is, as this notebook gets older, you'll see some of these pages start to fall off on their own, and that's just it's just a trade-off of the design. Either the paper is detachable and it comes off easily and eventually it comes off on its own, or it's not attachable and it's securely in there, but you can never remove it. The middle ground is to have it securely in there, like with a stitched binding, and then have it be perforated, but usually you don't see those two together. So yeah, 96 sheets, really nice, plain. This is an off-white. It's not my color balance. It's an off-white, which I like. The paper is smooth. It feels like a Moleskine, whatever. It's as smooth. I feel like it's heavier than a typical Moleskine. I think those are actually, they don't say, but I think they're officially at 70 grams per square meter. So this is a heavier paper. It is the same sort of copy paper type material you would expect from Moleskine, which we'll get into in a second. But anyway, no page numbers, nothing here. This is just normal plain sheets. I did some writing samples so we can get an idea of what's happening here. And starting at the bottom, we have a cello butterflow. So basically ballpoint. Ballpoints are great. That's gonna be the best thing to use for something like this. Pencil's fine. Pencils, you know, they all smear a little bit, but that's fine. Sharpie, you don't really use a Sharpie in these. I just wanted to show what that looks like. So you're gonna see some bleed through, a lot of bleed through from a Sharpie, which is typical. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to go really heavy or to a coated paper to not see a Sharpie through. Just moving up the list a little bit, some more ballpoints, they're all fine. Roller balls and gels are great here. More Sharpie S gel. At the very top, we have the Pilot Petite 1, which is a fountain pen. And this is when Moleskines and this notebook in particular, having some problems getting that, really, I would say, kind of fall off the cliff. The water-based light ink of that Moleskine, of that fountain pen, causes some bleeding, and you could see the sort of the feathering there around that P. Here is just a straight up big feather off of that scribble, and that is just how this more, again, it's like a copy type paper. I'm not saying that to make it seem like a bad paper, but it has more of that copy paper feel, so it's really not the best for fountain pens. A gel pen, a ballpoint, they all hold up really well. Sharpie S gel, no problems at all, really nice. There's a little bit of feathering, but really not anything to speak of. Move over to that fountain pen and just look along this horizontal line. You can see that little bit of feathering. If that doesn't bother you, then go right ahead and buy this notebook and use it on a fountain pen. I should have just removed it. I completely forgot it was detachable. So if that feathering doesn't bother you, then totally great, no problem. It's really not that bad. It's not as bad as a copy paper, but if you're looking for at this as a premium notebook, and at $10 it's like semi-premium, then you know, maybe it's not the best for fountain pen paper. I would say it's not an ideal. Wouldn't you get a Rhodia or something for about the same price, if not less. The gel, the roller ball, this gel, they're all completely great. No problems there. You know, maybe a little bit of issues there, but really not too bad. As far as bleed through goes, yeah, fountain pen shows some bleed through. Same with the gel, same with the roller ball. It's less bad. I didn't want to take it out because it's less bad now if something's up against it. When the sheet is here with a light to the back, it always seems worse than it is. If something's here, then yeah, I see some press through from the ballpoints, which require more pressure. That's not really a big deal because we see it now, but it doesn't really bother you when you're writing. Obviously the Sharpie that's an outlier, and that's like designed to like just cut through paper like this. Here we see where I was scribbling with the roller ball, so that's going to come through a little bit with that water-based ink, but the rest is pretty good. It's really just the fountain pen at the top that's not ideal, but even then it's not a disaster. So the Moleskine Folio Professional Plain Pad, I bought it for $10 from Amazon.com. I'm sure they'll sell it at Office Max and Office Depot and whatever superstore you want to get out there. These things are pretty easy to find. I'm not sure if it's hit the rest of the stationery type places yet, but it's a pretty good pickup. Pretty happy with it for $10. I'll keep buying them. It's similar to the Moleskine Kahir. and the other one, the Volant, I think. It's pretty much in that league, but a little bit plainer color scheme. Anyway, that's it. I like it, but I'm not completely sold with it, but it's good enough to purchase if you could find a reasonable deal. Thanks for watching.